What's up, everybody? It's Ryan McCarty here with Culture of Good, and I'm here with
Scott Moorehead. I'm the CEO at TCC, the Cellular Connection. We're a Verizon Wireless authorized retailer.
And about 8 years ago, we sat down and came up with this crazy idea of doing good in local communities, really doing the right thing for the right reason at the right time, how to impact employees, customers, and community, and that's had a profound impact, I know, on TCC.
Yep. We created the Culture of Good to really gel everybody together. It was that one piece that we hoped would take every single person in every department, no matter where you were in the country, no matter what you really did. And it was the one thing that it could be the central gel that held us all together. We all could have a passion for the company that we work so hard for every day, no matter what we did, really representing us and being bigger than us and being something we could be super proud of.
Yeah, and so I'd love to hear the actual impact. Like I know right from the beginning, employees were really seeing very transformative moments in their stores and their work, but also in their personal lives with their families. And I'd love to hear more about that because, a lot of business owners are asking, how do I, during this time of COVID and employee engagement and, bringing that family feel back to business,
Yeah, well, it was moments in the beginning, and it was moments of, your heart really being touched and you feeling very proud of being a part of something bigger than you. And over time, as we worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and continued to strive to incorporate it into our business instead of putting it aside from our business, it became not a moment but a movement. And that was something that was a seismic shift. Like that moved everybody into this whole space where we could be all on the same playing ground and say, you know what, we do this for bigger reasons. And it helped us during the bad days say, you know what, I remember why I do this. And it helped us on the good days remember, this is why I show up to work and ultimately why we started to treat each other better. So it wasn't just about external. It became as much or more about internal. And so that's why it became not a project, it became a culture.
That's really cool. Because a project is like an initiative that you kind of inject and then
that's something that we were victim of as a company beforehand. It was the next project, and it was, okay, Scott's got this next crazy idea and he wants to implement this thing, and if we sort of sit back and relax and just go with it, then sooner or later it'll die. And we'll suffer through it while we have to do our day job. We deal with Scott's crap. And that project feeling was something that I had to unravel, and it was something I was guilty of as a CEO, and it's tinkering, which I think a lot of owners do with their business. They tinker and try and make it better, and they do it with projects instead of looking at it holistically and saying, how can I interject something and weave it in so deeply that it can't go anywhere. And that process is hard, and it took many years to really get it woven in so deeply that people no longer feel as if it's a project. They feel like it's part of who we are.
I think a lot of the many years of doing that and figuring that out is why we came up with what we now have as the Culture of Good in a box solution, so other companies can implement and do the same type of work within their company, which I don't know. I want you to speak on that for a moment, because we put a lot into this solution to be able to say, if a company took 10 months and had a champion, a sponsor within their business, that they could really have a playbook on how to build a culture of good. Like as a business owner, I mean, that was really your idea, because we wanted to replicate and inspire other companies to do good as well.
Well, when I say it took years for us, that's because we didn't know what we were doing, and we failed. I mean, we failed a lot. You and I failed a lot. We failed in multiple different parts of it, multiple different missions on along the timeline that it took us. And when we got to where we were, when we wrote a book and shared our story and put together an advisory group of trying to help put this into other businesses, we took a look back and said, what if we didn't fail all those times? What if we knew what we knew now?
Yeah,
and how long would it take us? And that's why the program that we put together in the box is more like 10 months and not 5 years, because we stepped in the grenades for everybody else, and that is something that we were proud of. And we said, boy, it would be so cool if we could share this process that we've learned and take really the essence of what the big pieces were, the big stable pieces that are the concrete walls that surrounds your business, that surrounds it by this culture of good that allows you to thrive. That's what we did with the project and the box and helping other companies really get kick-started. And culture of good isn't us telling you how to do it our way. It's us showing you how to do it your way. And that's what I thought was really cool about what we did, because every single company has a soul. And that soul just needs to be tapped. And so we've pushed that envelope, and really we're thoughtful throughout the process of trying to say, let's not make them do it our way. Let's take the concepts that worked and make them broad and general enough that people can go in their own direction, because every customer and every employee and every company has a slightly different purpose. And that purpose can be fueled by a different passion. Not everybody should have the exact same passion, otherwise this world would be super boring.
For sure.
Right? So it's the different pieces and the diversity of businesses and the diversity of employees and customers that drive the different purposes that really fueled us to take culture of good to the marketplace and say, this is a really great way to drive a return on investment. It wasn't just about making everybody feel good, because there was a tangible dollar amount that it put back into our company that we were incredibly happy for. And 8 years later, we're one of the most philanthropic companies, employee by employee, that I know of. And we turn that into dollars, like hardcore dollars, that helps us do more good. And it's just it's figuring out how to do it authentically and not feel skeevy about the entire thing.
Doing it for the right reasons. Right.
And if you do it step by step and you bring people along and you're very transparent about what your end goal is, which we were not in the beginning. We had no idea what the darn end goal was. We just said, we're just going to make people feel
do some good. It was really that. And for a while, that's all. I mean, but even that was impactful on the business, So what, if you're a business owner out there, I'm talking to a very successful business owner here, thousands of employees across 42 states, growing. We've got a website, cultureofgood.com. You can go on and get our free book shipped to you that tells the whole story as well. Talk directly to the business owner for just a couple of seconds, just about as a business owner, what ultimately you would encourage them to do with what we're talking about today.
So, what I would encourage you to do is just seek to understand the message we're trying to say. And I think if you did read the book, we were pretty intentional about cutting the fat of the book. I've read hundreds of business books, and most of them are plump with stuff that you don't need to know. I think ours is 100 pages, and you could probably cram through it in a night. Because it's all the stuff that you do need to know, and none of it that you don't. Seek to understand what we're trying to say, and then ultimately go about it methodically. If you want your business to be healthy and vibrant, you want employees to be loyal and proud of where they work, this is a way to do it. It's not the only way to do it, but it is a proven way to do it. And this is not written from an academic perspective of somebody who hasn't tried it that just sounds like a great idea.
Right.
We forced our way through it and failed a lot and succeeded more. And I would tell you that your employees will be extremely grateful, and so will you as an owner or a leader that you've helped your business and the world that surrounds you just be a better place, and that has to do a little bit with legacy. So that in and of itself is something that eventually we all seek to find some form of how will the world remember us.
Yeah.
And I want to be remembered as somebody that helped make the world around me a little bit better than when I got here.
Yeah.
And not to just do that by running my business effectively and efficiently and making money by doing the service that we set out to do more than that, and bring value and watch that drive the business, drive it forward. So that's a special thing to have, and pretty unique. And so we're in this space where we're not necessarily just corporate social responsibility, and we're not in just employee engagement, and we're not just marketing, and we're not we're a little bit of all of those things.
Takes it all. Yeah, absolutely.